And if a founder has to be there to solve a situation so often, that means it's a badly designed business. Now, how do you create solution to situations in your absence is by a compass. For an outbound, right from identifying client, getting a data, making a first contact, making a proposal, negotiation, whenever they have need, then you meet them next to closer, could run into months. And that was a typical sales cycle earlier,
The biggest myth about success that needs to die.
that it's permanent.
Hello, and welcome to Pathfinders, the podcast series that brings to you remarkable journeys of founders, CEOs, and business leaders. People who have not just built businesses, but who have carved out their paths through uncertainties, through failures, and through grit. Today, we have with us a very special guest with one such story. I'm very glad to have with me in the studio today Nishant Parashar. Nishant is the founder of Engage4More, India's largest artist booking and employee engagement platform. But Nishant's journey is truly defined not by what he built, it is defined by what he rebuilt. When COVID happened, Nishant faced one of the hardest chapters of his life: bankruptcy. Like the saying goes, the best people are tested the most when life hits hard. Nishant, being the toughest, did not give in, but he rebuilt and reinvented Engage4More as Engage4More.com with grace, strength, and clarity of purpose. Today, Engage4More is a rapidly growing company posting impressive growth rates year on year. The active user base grows at a rate of 300% YOY consecutively since the last 4 years. Nishant has already worked with all major corporates like the Reliance, Tata Motors, HDFC, HSBC Bank, Amazon, to name a few. Moreover, he is the go-to person if you want to book any thought leader or any celebrity for any event. Jay Shetty, Gaur Gopal Das, Anil Kumble, Simon Sinek, Anil Kapoor, whoever you are thinking of, it's very likely that they are featured on his website. Please join me in welcoming this pathfinder, the trailblazer, fighter, and deeply, deeply inspiring human being, Nishant Parashar. Nishant, thank you so much for taking the time today to join us.
Thank you so much. These adjectives my mothers would be very proud to know. So I'll definitely share the introduction with my mom. Thank you.
I'm glad, and it's totally our pleasure. You founded Engage4More in 2010, and then you worked with all major corporates. And then COVID happened. Everything went upside down, but you did not give in. You rebuilt with more grace and more strength. So, what changed for you? What shifted for you? What changed the way you were thinking, you were leading, you were building?
I'm very thankful for that phase to have happened. Let me start with this. I am a victim of arrogance coming in because of early success. I started in 2010, got Business World Young Entrepreneur Award. Suddenly, my business school thought, hey, you know what, this guy was in our business college. Let's call him, give an award. And suddenly you get an award, you get series of awards, correct? So I was doing too many things, way too many things. And I had started doing taking too many capital risk, a lot more than I was really ready for or I had resilience for. So COVID came in and really showed me, how much ill prepared I was, and how much of poor readiness with which I was taking those punts. So it was very painful. It was very, very painful. I was out of funds. I was losing the best of the teammates. Multiple businesses that I was doing. They were already kind of looking a bit complicated, but COVID really crashed them down. I was at ground zero. Bankruptcy for me was relatively acute because imagine a zero as an entity and you walk out. As a founder, the indemnity liability is not on you. You say it's a private limited firm. But see what happens when you're a small, medium enterprise, you know your suppliers in person. You owe a lot to them because they trusted not the brand that I carry. It was still a small brand. They trusted you as a person, correct? Those employees who had to be given salary, they trusted you as a person. So COVID and bankruptcy was a scenario wherein morally it was not right for me to come out. So, but I was in a minus a lot. So bankruptcy was quite a naked state, a very clarity-oriented state because there was nothing around, correct? And a lot of pain. You know, when pain hits you, you get a lot of clarity, correct?
Yeah.
So in COVID, I had to really do this exercise of identifying in the multiple things that I had tried to build, what is it that was really powerful, strong, and sustainable. So that pain and nakedness really got me to see that with a lot more objectively. That's one part. So clarity came a lot. Second was that if I had to stay back in business, which I was very determined for, I had to pick up further a piece that can create a lot of profit with a speed, because I had to not just stay back in business, I had to pay back a lot of people. So think of running for life and running for fitness. So for me, running for life was a choice that I had to take. So COVID got me into that state of identify the track and run for life. But very clearly, just run, not fly, don't start swimming, don't do decathlon, triathlon, etc. Just run. So that means clearly stick to one idea, very clearly one idea, around which I'll keep breaking the ceiling rather than keep doing multiple things. So COVID got me to think a lot more sharply, think a lot more better around profits, think scale, and think a pattern and routine that can keep breaking ceiling and stay on to it. So it was very, very helpful. And one of the most important point was that if it was so painful, I needed something that keeps me driven, not just for the small phase, for a very, very long time. So it put me on to search of something that has meaning, that is large, and that can keep me and my team very, very excited for long. So yeah, so that's what happened. And I'll talk about more as we do further conversations.
So you said you were searching for something that would provide you the drive to go ahead. So how important do you think is having a clearly defined purpose for a business? And most of the times businesses do have a purpose. There would be a purpose stated somewhere on their website or in their office. But how important do you think is it for the organization to not just frame it, but also live by it? And how can they align their team to it? So what is your take on that?
See, purpose, the way I identify purpose, and I could be horribly wrong in the way it is defined otherwise, the state at which I had to really bounce back. You know, it was a matter of life or death for me, not just for the brand. It was for my grace, for my dignity, for my respect, for my family. It was so much like a religion. And if religion is very vague and it has multiple meanings, a lot of confusion, if you can't state it, if you can't have stories around it, if you can't have largeness, if you can't have inspiration, if you cannot have people identify with it, you would not have people coming around it. So purpose is extremely, extremely strong. So the way I was searching for the purpose was something around which I can stay anchored. It should be like a compass that guides me in my moments of confusion and decision making. And one of the most important thing I learned, pre-COVID, I was doing business for almost a decade, a good 9.5 years or so. I realized that business was getting slowed down wherever I was not present to solve a situation. And if a founder has to be there to solve a situation so often, that means it's a badly designed business. Now, how do you create solution to situations in your absence is by a compass. So purpose has to be so well crafted, so easily drafted, so easily stated, so simply understood, so that it can operate in the founder's absence. You have to have a purpose, okay? Because otherwise, you do not know what you stand for. What are you searching and what are you building and what are you actually acting in service of? Once that is taken care of, it has to be drafted in such simple way, in a single line, that the junior most employee can understand and can take those decisions. So this whole purpose is very, very powerful. It creates a belief of a different kind altogether. So yeah, so but you have to be immersed in the purpose. You have to reset yourself to the purpose. You have to be the example of that purpose. Live by every breath. Now I could be dramatizing it, but unless you do it. But the beauty is people sense it. You may not give the best English. You may not give the best example. You may not get comprehended so well from whatever reading comprehension parameters. People sense the honesty and energy and they come around you. And when people come around you, miracle happen. And that's what it is.
So, what is the core purpose for Engage4More?
So when I was left with a very small team, we shared this discussion to say, hey, you know what? There is a little crack and light coming in. There are some transactions that we're doing. This is how we are feeling. Personally, this is how I'm feeling about it. We understand how events as a space work. I think we can do something about it. It's very, very small. But we are supported by these artists because we are able to represent them, talk about them, how powerfully they can deliver. Through a lot of deliberations, we came up with this line which says, we are here to enhance the livelihood of a performing artist. So if I can act in enhancement of the money an artist make by the time and energy that they spent, we will be relevant in this business. It also became something that we gained a lot of confidence because it's a business wherein if the supply is your side, if the art is your side, client will come your way. But as long as you're not able to get the confidence, the energy, the creativity, the support, the promptness of an artist with you, you will not be able to survive. So yeah, so for us, purpose is to enhance the livelihood of a performing artist.
Right. And I absolutely believe that you were very successful in transferring it into the lowest levels of your employees from the impressive growth rates that you have in business and even your active user bases. So I was listening to one of your talks and you
Ji.
said, so right now you're managing India's largest artist booking platform. And but it was very interesting to find that you don't have a traditional sales force, but you have built something called response management model.
Yeah.
So can you tell me something about it? It was very interesting. So can you tell me something about the response management model that you have and how it works for you?
So think of it again from the purpose side of it. It's so much about enhancing the livelihood of a performing artist. So a couple of things happen. One is that can we say things repeatedly that talks about a better way an artist can be discovered, can be engaged to get the best on the stage per se. So we took this thought and what we realized that in the times of COVID, wherein event companies were like struggling, a lot of them were shut, and some of them actually changed the business line altogether. We realized that if we can be discovered, because it was a very funny situation. It was a situation you don't know who's really spending on artists. The best of the companies were not necessarily, they were small companies. Some of them were funded, some of them were trying to experiment, some of them had scheduled event, but they wanted a different format altogether. So it was a very confusing scenario where you don't know whom are you competing with and you don't know who's your client, correct? So we accidentally arrived at a model. Yeah, we said, why don't we start writing? Because we saw people were searching on Google, which now is happening also a lot on Chat GPT and other AI platforms. We arrived at a model which starts with discovery. And we identified where all artists are getting discovered. Like for booking tickets, you will look at maybe a District, a Book My Show, and a couple of other platforms. For artist booking, there were not, many websites to find them. So typically, people would go on YouTube. Sorry, people would go on Google, correct? So either they would look at Google, the youngsters would go to Instagram, people who are consuming comedy and wanting to find a comedian or a speaker or a musician, etc., will possibly go to YouTube. There are some, searching patterns we saw happening on Quora, wherein people are looking at understanding from question and answer itself. So we realized there had to be a huge effort, we need to be having a lot of digital footprints and be there and be found where people are searching for it. So we write a lot on our website, on our blogs, on Quora, on Medium, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on Reddit. We have our own podcasts, etc., etc., etc. Correct? It's. If I speak more, I'll be really decoding my whole blueprint over here. But our model is that we will get discovered wherever on an internet people are searching or trying to find an artist. Correct? What happens next is a stage wherein people either filled a form or made a call or written to us. And this is where the response comes into play. Okay. And then after response is done, you convert the query into a client and then you do the service part of it. So just like how you in cricket, you have DRS, wherein typically you look at an appeal, whether you're not sure it was out or not. Our model is coined by the same term. So it is discovery, respond, and serve. Now, what this has done is it has completely taken out the traditional sales model. A typical cycle for an outbound, right from identifying client, getting a data, making a first contact, making a proposal, negotiation, whenever they have need, then you meet them next to closure, could run into months. And that was a typical sales cycle earlier. Correct? Here, the person is looking for a solution now. And people come to internet in a hurry. So here what happens is from the call, from the search being made to the event day, on an average, it's all happening within 4 weeks. So dramatically what we've done is a multi-month sales cycle has been reduced to just 4 weeks of a cycle. And then look at the efficiency. Here we are finding whether somebody needs a solution or not. Here, somebody looking for a solution is searching for a ready solution, a ready service provider. So it's a completely different way of doing all. And look at the scale. In a whole year, we would have served not more than say 200 customers in a whole year pre-COVID. Here, on a daily basis, you have more than 1,000 people visiting your website, B2B buyers. And out of that, say suppose, in a month, more than 1,000 would have spoken to us. So you look at the complete paradigm shift in this process altogether. But we write a lot. We share a lot of content. We go deep dive into the lifeline of an artist.
What do you think permanently changed after COVID in the events and engagement industry? And how has Engage4More evolved your playbook post-pandemic?
Yeah, it's a very interesting question, actually. It's very interesting to see how a space that we were actively part of dramatically changed. So a couple of things have changed almost forever. Okay. The first one is the lot of frugality that has come into play. Event companies, larger number of event companies were operating as generalists, having almost everything in-house. So they'll have in-house AV production, artists, managers, creative cell, servicing, production, etc., etc. COVID has taught all the players in the events industry to stay lean. And then what happened is, because you never know when it comes back, correct? Within one phase, there were waves that came in, just to remind the verse is not over. The second thing that has happened, especially because of internet, two things are happening. And since when AI has kicked in, customers have gone extremely impatient. People are already impatient. They wanted things very, very fast. But because of AI, a client does not have patience for the copy to come in with a lag. set design to come in with the lag, artist suggestion to come with the lag, commercials to come with the lag. No, because in a minute, the customer is typing in the prompt and telling the event manager, hey, buddy, what why is it's taking so long? So the event manager is under pressure of time more than ever before. And the last thing that has happened is expertise. Because of internet, especially in space of artists, what has happened is pre-COVID, if there were 100 comedians, imagine, now there are more than 1,000 active comedians. And clients are also consuming comedy. They're also consuming a lot of music. On the go, they're listening to a lot of podcasts, Reels is giving them a lot of fitness tips, etc., etc., etc. So now the event company, which otherwise was a reservoir or pipeline of artists, content provider, influencers, celebrities earlier, is no longer the case. So the event company does not have so much of luxury of larger teams, does not have luxury of time, and also have to be beating the client awareness to stay in the game, to have right to win. Now, this works for us a lot. So specifically in the artist booking, because of the research team, we would know more than 5,000 active artists in the circuit at any given point in time. We will know whom to call, how to get a cost, whether they're available or not. So if we were competing with an event company earlier, suddenly what has happened is we become friends of an event company. So we are constantly investing in our data, in our intelligence, in our content. Now that has become our playbook.
So Nishant, I found you saying, I know the word is strong, but I found you saying content is the next cocaine.
Yes, and we're saying this on our podcast.
I know, but it looked very impressive when you said that. So I thought I need to ask you this.
Yeah.
And you also speak about experiences of future. So what are the trends that you are betting by to become the next wave of growth for Engage4More?
Yeah, so it's a bet. When you say a trend, it's something that you feel relatively stronger to what other possible avenues are. But looking at the way people are seeking the thrill in a content tells you that people are seeking a higher than before kick from their screens, correct? And we will live through the screens a lot more than what we're seeing right now. There are, of course, bad side to it, but that's a harsh reality. Mapping it to my business, discovery around artists happens through screen. So I have to be there on screen. And if I have to map it to the way content get consumed and in a human ways of consuming content, we want to see first, hear, and then read later. So videos would rule. So my strategy of staying relevant, being found, able to respond and serve would be videos. We are here to make videos and videos and videos, hundreds, thousands, millions of videos, so that stories of an artist can be said through powerful videos.
So you speak about the trends. So we also foresee challenges, right? Like AI is everywhere.
Yes.
So a lot of what you do could be taken over by AI in the near future. So how do you plan to stay ahead in this scenario?
So I hope my competition is not listening to this one. And that's the power of purpose again, okay? It's a very tough question. It's a question that keeps us awake, but also alert. Yeah. And you can clearly see that while we invested so much on Google search, SEO, and all of it, now suddenly ChatGPT has taken a lot of share of discovery from there. So there'll be a time in this whole scenario that from a possible client to a good match of an artist, distance is getting shrunk. The discovery, reachability, or talking to them directly is only getting easier. And that's not a good news for a marketplace. It's like you go to Vijay Sales and you very quickly fire up Amazon and you book a refrigerator in a Vijay Sales from Amazon. correct? It's their office, their employee, their air conditioning, and that happens, correct? It's happening with us as well. Now, what's the answer? The answer lies in enhancing the livelihood of performing artists. How? If you're a speaker, I'm just giving them a speaker while I do business in comedy, music, etc. If you're a speaker and you know that working with me, that means with Engage4More, I'm working on you enhancing your livelihood. Like, we give you an example. A speaker traditionally is seen only making money through speaking. But there are 10 more ways if we can gain strength to help a speaker to monetize a lot more. I'll give you examples. Like, we can help you write a book. A book elevates your position, your price point, your recall, correct? Versus your competition. Second, paid podcast. Third, if the person wants to start a podcast, we can help the person to start a podcast, monetize a podcast. The game has just started now, okay? The same speaker who's an expert of a particular topic can do two more things. They can do workshops. If you flown to, say, Trivandrum for a keynote, but the same client, if you can spend one more hour and convert the time that you're spending into a workshop or a masterclass, you'll make at least 50% more than what you're doing currently. So all this list happens when you're thinking sincerely to enhance the livelihood of an artist, which is our purpose. So answer for me to take care of AI or tomorrow anything else which could be threatening to my business is to have that artist believe and stay with me, possibly exclusively managed. And not to be worried whether can somebody circumvent us and go to them directly. Because my business is a supply business. Of course, there is demand coming into, but the supply, if the supply is with me, believing that I can help them to monetize their time better, they would be with me. So tomorrow I may evolve the business model that I'm in. I may not be a marketplace. I may become a big factory of monetization for particular kind of artist person. So we will evolve but our purpose would remain the same.
All right. So now let's go to the fun part.
Okay, ji. It was fun this far as well.
Okay. Oh, thank you. I enjoyed very insightful conversations, I must
Thank
say. So now we are going to the rapid fire question. I'm going to shoot some questions at you. Okay. So a book that saved you at your lowest.
Book that saved me at the lowest, Atomic Habits, James Clear.
If your entrepreneurial journey was a movie, what would be its title?
Good Gobar.
The biggest myth about success that needs to die.
That it's permanent.
One word that will define Nishant today, that will shock Nishant of 2005.
Slow.
Oh, okay. But productive.
Of course. And I'll tell you, Formula One movie, the latest one, there's this girl, I'm not getting the name of the girl, who's in the pit stop. And she fumbles twice when they were changing the tires. Okay. And Brad Pitt tells her, slow is steady, steady is fast. And all he wanted was 1/10 of a second saved by each one of them in the race. And eventually that's how they won the race with such a substantial contribution. So slow is steady, steady is fast. So while I'm saying slow, but I'm actually meaning fast. But being very, very steady. So like how this book is that think fast, think slow. It's a game changer book. By design, I take pauses and I feel I'm more deep into the moment and I'm doing more justice to that moment in my life. So yes, slow is the word. I hated it. I would not associate with that word in 2005.
It's very insightful because even for me, I think I find it very difficult to slow down. And yeah, this is giving a very different perspective. So thank you for that.
Pleasure, all mine.
So you are into employee engagement. One moment where your team made you emotional.
My team made me emotional. Actually, the list is very, very long. Very, very long. But this is the time pre-COVID. Everybody knew that I was struggling. And I remember my birthday wherein I walked in knowing that I'm not paying salaries on time That day when I walked into the office, and it was a large office, 100 plus people, there were these photographs of the proud moments of Engage4More journey from 2010 till that time hanging from the ceiling. I walked through those moments, getting to place where I sit, and it was a good 30-40 feet walk from the entrance to this one. I was in my tears. Every photograph was telling me that whatever it is worth it. And there are people who appreciate. And I have a team that is reminding me that they believe in those moments. So that day I felt very, very proud, very, very proud. And yes, I remember I was battling with my tears, and possibly I cried that day.
All the wisdom that you've picked up through your highs and lows.
Yeah.
And it was deeply, deeply insightful. A lot of things that you shared today. So thank you so much
Pleasure,
for
Alma
taking
Lakshmi.
your time today to be with us here and talk about your journey. I'm sure it's going to inspire a lot of entrepreneurs
so.
who are in your path, walking your path right now, dreaming to build something big, finding their purpose. I'm sure it's going to inspire a lot of them. Thank you so much, Nishant. It was a pleasure having you with us today.
Lakshmi, thank you so much, and it was one of the most honest conversation I've had, and got me really raw and real onto this. And so, thanks for making me so comfortable. And my best wishes to you and the whole team.
Thank you. Thank you so much.